The city of Dallas unites tonight as the 5 fallen officers killed in last year's ambush and their families are honored.
The mother of drunk driving killer Ethan Couch talks for the first time. But Tanya Couch would only talk to Fox 4 News about one topic.
As hard as we try to make things okay, we can't. And it's just a struggle every day, every day.
A close call at DFW Airport this week when an American Airlines employee runs down and stops a runaway refueling truck. This may have averted a disaster.
The news leader, broadcasting for all North Texas. Fox 4 News starts now.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. A scarred city came together tonight to look back 1 year after tragedy struck. The deadly police ambush in Dallas took the lives of 4 Dallas police officers and 1 Dart police officer. As a tribute to them, leaders put the community and police shoulder to shoulder, honoring the men who gave the ultimate sacrifice. They want to make certain those 5 lives are forever remembered.
Tonight, one of the larger events is taking place. This is a live look now over Dallas City Hall where Tribute 7-7 is being held. Families of the fallen and fellow police from near and far are there in that crowd. For many, it's been an emotional day. Fox 4's Lynn Ann Wynn is first here on Fox 4 News at 9 to take us through the tribute. Lynn Ann.
For your service. There's a long, hard road
Steve,
ahead.
Heather, a lot of people wearing blue here tonight and holding these blue lights to show their support for Dallas and Dart police and mark the 1-year anniversary of the July 7th ambush. Now, police officers and their families, but also people from the community came out to commemorate the somber day. Many people here had a connection to that night, including chaplains who descended upon police substations to support officers that night, dispatchers who were working that night, and some family members of the fallen 5 officers, but also community members who just wanted to come out and remember our fallen officers with a moment of silence and presentation of the honor flag. We spoke to fallen officer Patrick Zamaripa's partner who worked with him for about a year about what this day means to him.
Just to be with the crowd and let people know, that, that we're people too, and it means a lot to the department to have that kind of support.
And several local politicians also spoke at the tribute, thanking officers for their bravery that night. But Eddie Bernice Johnson and Royce West both made statements vowing to keep fighting for body armor, education, and support that officers need to do their jobs.
We don't do enough to give attention to what we need to give attention to put our young men and women out to protect us every day. But I'm hoping that this can be a beginning of more respect for our peace officers so that they can get the attention that they deserve.
They did not hide, they did not cower, they did not run. They faced down a killer. They faced down a man who would take on anyone who got in his way. And I want to say that it is a total act of bravery on behalf of the men and women who that night did their job, did it well and professionally.
Faith leadership.
And although they did not speak at the ceremony, interim Dallas Police Chief David Pews and former Chief David Brown were both also in attendance at the tribute and participated in the following march. Now, the honor flag presented at tonight's ceremony will be on display in Dallas for 91 hours, commemorating each year of service of the combined fallen 5 officers. Steve, Heather, back to you.
All right. Lynn Ann, thank you.
Fox 4's Brandon Todd is nearby where they just wrapped up a tribute march. Brandon, tell us about it.
Yeah, exactly. Right behind me, you can kind of see what Lynn Ann was talking about, this sea of blue lights back behind me. And this is really the conclusion of that march you were talking about. I want to show you some video of that march. It was called a commemorative march, and it was sponsored by Dallas's 4 police unions. It went down Young Street all the way to Houston, back down to Young, and then back here to City Hall. Now, honestly, I've covered probably half a dozen marches over the last year here in Dallas, and without a doubt, I can tell you this is the quietest march I have ever covered. There was very little talking at all, even with groups of families. Officers that were walking together were not talking to each other. This was a very silent, very sort of reflective type of march by everyone involved. It was an emotional walk for some of these people. Some of the residents told me they saw the coverage on TV. Many of them kind of maybe tried to keep last year's deadly ambush in the back of their mind, but we walked along with some elected officials, Dallas police officers and citizens, all of them here to support law enforcement, and we talked to a few of them, including Dallas Interim Police Chief David Hughes.
I'm proud of the fact that there's this many people out here walking with us, celebrating the fact that we're all coming together a year later as a community, showing support for one another. It means a lot to us.
Because of them, we're out here.
Does the realism of a year ago hit you when you walk
It really does. I'm especially seeing it on the news, seeing pictures and stuff like that, and seeing their pictures over there. It really kind of, hits. It does. But we're here to offer a little support.
And again, Steve and Heather, her words were sort of echoed by everyone else that I spoke with as well. You can talk about this, you can think about this, but it wasn't until a lot of these people walked down these Dallas streets on the 1-year anniversary of this ambush that all of that really became powerful to them and real to them. Again, as some were telling me, this was a very emotional walk. Steve, Heather?
Understood. Brandon Todd, downtown Dallas, thank you.
This station will observe 1 minute of radio silence. All units activate emergency light.
This morning, law enforcement across the state turned on their emergency lights, their light bars, for 1 minute. It was part of Governor Greg Abbott's statewide call to stand with law enforcement. And hundreds of people visited El Centro College this morning as well for a ceremony to honor those killed and wounded.
Now, the focus was on renewing and rebuilding the spirit of the college and the surrounding community. An art display was unveiled showing a conceptual rendering of a tree with images projected on the branches reflecting the strength and spirit of El Centro. El Centro Police Chief John Abbott, who was wounded during the attack, says the response is uplifting.
The outpouring of support that we get from everybody, the strength of the college and the community that's come back together again, the brotherhood that we see with everybody that's here.
El Centro's president says he is committed to building relationships with the community and police in remembrance of the attack. Now, officers involved in the July 7th ambush, along with family members of the fallen officers, spoke at a panel discussion at Dallas Police Headquarters. The panel included the ranking members of all 3 police departments involved in that attack: Dallas Police, Dart Police, and the Dallas County Community College Police Department. Police say this is still a very much an active investigation, even a year later. Family members of murdered Officer Patrick Zamarripa said the community needs to support and respect police officers.
Nothing is going to change unless it gets better and we start having respect and unity and quit fighting and hating. Let's get the respect back that we need with our officers and with each other.
Police say there were 34 dash or body cameras that night that contained thousands of hours of video integral to the investigation. DPD also recovered about 200 shell casings, mostly from inside El Centro College. Dallas police say the investigation will be ready for the Dallas County grand jury next week.
On this somber day, some police associations and support groups are angry at Dallas County Commissioner John Wiley Price. Earlier this week, Price opposed a resolution honoring fallen law officers. Price argues that all lives matter and there needs to be an honest dialogue about lives lost at the hands of law enforcement. Now the Dallas Police Association wants an apology.
It was to honor these fallen. So yeah, I think he does owe the law enforcement community an apology. There's a time and a place for everything.
Will you apologize?
Not in this lifetime.
The resolution this week by the county commission passed. Price abstained. Mike Mata says realistically he doesn't expect an apology or change of heart from Price.
Our coverage to commemorate last year's ambush will continue tonight at 9:30 with a Fox 4 News special presentation, 7 hours. The Lancaster girl who police say was kidnapped and killed over stolen marijuana was shot to death. The medical examiner says 13-year-old Siobhan Randall was shot multiple times in the head and torso. Police say Randall was kidnapped because her cousin's boyfriend stole marijuana from a motel room and Randall was held as ransom. She and 19-year-old Michael Titus, who was at one time a person of interest, both found dead in an abandoned house in East Oak Cliff Sunday morning. 6 people are in custody with charges indirectly related to her death, but no one has been charged with her murder. Randall's funeral is tomorrow morning at Friendship West Baptist Church in Dallas. For the first time, the mother of drunk driving killer Ethan Couch is talking on camera.
Tanya Couch contacted us because she's worried about what's happening with her son in jail. The Tarrant County Sheriff tells us Ethan Couch was moved to another part of the jail because he had a conflict with an inmate. He's right now serving 2 years in jail after violating his original 10-year probation for driving drunk when he was 16 and killing 4 people. We wanted to ask her about the crash and the victims, but Tanya Couch says a gag order by the court prevents her from talking about her criminal case or her son's deadly drunk driving accident. But she says she is concerned about her son's treatment in jail.
Everybody there knows him, and especially if somebody new comes in, you know, it kind of starts all over for him. For him to be moved with the phone call, you know, that phone call in the middle of the night where you don't know what's happening, and I still don't. I would like to know if he's okay.
Tanya Couch is currently out on bond, awaiting trial for charges related to helping her son escape to Mexico while he was on probation.
While this save may not look like much to the untrained eye, an aviation expert says this airline employee did indeed save the day. Details on what could have been a fiery explosion at DFW Airport.
And the president meets his Russian counterpart. Details on their conversation about Russia's meddling in last year's election.
Hit and miss storms today were much more miss than hit, but boy, they did make their mark in a few locations. We'll take a look at radar and your forecast through the weekend. Coming right up.